Hi, my name is Iannielli, and I am a male to female transgender girl. And I'm gonna do a video to try to help my transgender sisters on what it's like for me personally in my journey towards womanhood. Uh, and I'm gonna do like a Q&A, which I'm going to emphasize questions with my shared experiences. So, the first question that I will address is the question as to the reasons behind my decision in transitioning from male to female. And for me, I've always felt different. I knew at a very young age that I had something going on with my personal feelings. I always gravitated towards female girly things. I remember when I was young, I was drawn to dresses, and I enjoyed having the chance to get a hold of some of my sister's dresses and try them on, and it just felt right for me. I felt perfectly natural in a dress, and I was very happy, and it just made me feel comfortable, and I was very happy where I felt like everything was right in my world when I wore the dress. I didn't feel comfortable as a boy, never did, even though I tried to. But when I was a girl and I could express that and wear the dresses, I was so happy, and it made me feel very good inside. Uh, so the reason why I decide to transition is so I can be that girl that I knew I always was. Uh, the feelings I have, I repressed all throughout my life, but it doesn't mean that I didn't have the feelings. They were there always, and they kept resurfacing, and I had no control over that. So came to a point where I couldn't hide it anymore. I couldn't repress it. So I had to come to terms with it and accept it and embrace it. And it took me years of therapy, but I'm in a better place now and I'm happy. And I had to seek a doctor. I had to go for counseling and therapy. Then I got the approval for the hormones, and my transition has gone from there. And I've never been happier. I have a son who I love, and I'm still his father. I always will be. But I am living as a woman, as I should. Some of the things I've done in my transition is therapy, of course, electrolysis, hormone replacement therapy, uh, and expressing myself as a woman in public 24/7. I live full-time now. I've been living full-time for about 2 years and 3 months, and I'm very comfortable, happy, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. You know, I've been waiting for this my whole life. Another question that I think is a relevant question is when I had to decide what was the most difficult aspect of my decision, and quite obviously it was how it was going to impact on my family, especially my son, and my work, my friends, my family relatives. I had all these worries and concerns, but I was mainly concerned about how it was going to affect my son. And I had to figure out through therapy how best to handle that. You know, my son is a teenager, 14 at the time, and also autistic. So I had to be very careful in how I opened up and talked to him. I had to speak to him on a level that he could understand. And I was nervous, quite nervous. But you know, I think honesty is the best policy. And when you're dealing with a child, you want them to know that you love them no matter what. And that as much as things may change, it doesn't mean that I'm going away. So I told my son that I love him. I always will, but I have a situation that not many people have, and I am struggling. And the only way that I can help myself is to transition to become a girl. And my son was quite shocked. He wasn't too happy about it. And I told him that we will gradually ease this situation into our life. I will integrate it slowly so you can adjust and adapt to it. And he seemed open-minded and was willing to, you know, accept my situation. I've been very fortunate that I have such a loving and caring son. It was much more difficult for my wife to come on board and to accept my gender struggle. And I can understand that. We are still together, but it's on shaky ground. But I'm trying my best to keep the relationship intact. But I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know the future. And I'm a very shy and reclusive person, so I can't see myself, if God forbid we were to break up, really having any relationships. And also, I would certainly want to have the surgery if I was going to have any relationships with men. But at this point, I don't feel relationships are important to me. Friendships, yes. Relationships, no, not now. So I had a heart-to-heart conversation with my son, and I told him that, you know, as much as I change, I'm still the same person, And I will always love you, Maddie. And I care about you. And I will always be there for you. And he realized that, and he got used to the idea, and now we're the best of friends. And we do many things together, and we have wonderful times. And I dress like a woman, and we go out, and he still calls me Dad, which is fine with me, because that's what he should do. So I'm just trying to be the best that I can be for my son and help him. And I support him and wish to do my part in helping him to grow into young manhood and face the world as an autistic person. And it's not easy for autistic adults or autistic children. It's very difficult. And my son and I have a lot in common, even though it's different. We both struggle with depression, isolation, low self-esteem. So I can relate to him in many ways. The third thing is, how do I feel about relationships? Well, I briefly touched upon it. But to be honest with you, if I wound up in a situation where my wife left me, I would probably want a relationship with a woman, mainly because I'm not sure if I'm going to have surgery. And even if I did, I've always been attracted to women. And I'm just more comfortable with being in the company of a female. If I had surgery and I had feelings for a guy, I might explore that. But that's all hypothetical, because I'm not in that situation, and I don't know if surgery is in my future. First of all, it's very expensive, and I'd have to get it through insurance, and hopefully find a surgeon that would accept the insurance, where I don't have to pay out of pocket, that they would go through the insurance. And secondly, at this time in my life, I'm not getting medical clearance from my psychiatrist or my therapist. So right now, surgery is on the table for me at this point, as much as I want to have it. But anyway, I certainly am attracted to girls, and even transgender girls. So if I were to have a relationship, I think I would enjoy the company of a girl or a transgender girl. I believe that we all are good people, and that we try to do the best we can, and that's all we can do. I love you. Bye. Emily.